For aspiring foodies, there are few better guides than Siba Mtongana. In a world hungry for African dishes with a twist, she's applied her majors in food science and nutrition, plus her time as a food editor and a model to bring her cooking to audiences in 135 countries. But one of her proudest achievements is being mom to 4 children, all under the age of 10.
What I love most about parenthood is the ability to give yourself to someone, give love, and just to nurture. I'm a natural nurturer. And I also love to mold and to build, because in essence, that's what parents do. They mold and they build their child in them becoming whoever they will be in future. One of my favorite things with being in the aquarium is seeing my kids being inquisitive and just being engaged and learning, and I love that.
Siba's partner in answering their children's questions and raising them right is her husband and design director for a major retail brand, Brian Mtongana.
So Siba and I met in Cape Town when she was visiting her sister. Yeah, so she was visiting and her sister had been asking me to come visit her church. And then until one day I saw Siba. Then what happened is that the other day I bumped into her sister and I said, oh, by the way, that invitation to church, I think I'm coming. So then obviously went to church because that was the only way I could actually see her. So we met, and then after church, we had a chat, and the rest is history, I guess. We met at church.
Met an angel, church.
This is our ocean exhibit. It holds 1.6 million liters of seawater.
Wow!
That's a lot of water.
Oh my gosh, wow! Oh wow!
It's saying hello.
How precious.
What's great about our relationship in terms of support, we knew each other before we knew where our careers were going to take us.
Yeah.
So we grew together, like from when we met until now. So we've been our biggest supporters in all our adventures and careers and aspirations.
So our relationship is very supportive. This is something that people don't know. So Brian used to be a director for a band. He plays drums, directs keys, and I was the #1 fan. Back then, I used to follow him in all his shows that he did locally in Cape Town, that is, and other parts of the country. So since then, I was his #1 fan, and it's so beautiful to have seen it invert, where he became my #1 fan, and I continue to be. So we're very supportive in our relationship.
With Brian's support and encouragement, after 2 award-winning cookbooks, Sibas now made her debut as a restaurateur.
So Siba the restaurant is my very first restaurant. It's my baby, which I love so much. Let me take you in to show you. The style of Siba the restaurant is all about elegance, but not too much. It also speaks about sophistication, as well as Afro-Lux. If you look at the lights around, especially this side, these were locally made. They're made of steel. It speaks to my heritage, especially with the black and white, which is a Xhosa tradition. The sophistication comes in the beautiful lights, the brass, a little bit of glam and shimmer in it, as well as the chandeliers, the sofas, especially the velvety. We wanted, specifically when people sit, they must feel comfortable and not feel rushed with their experience, because we are a fine dining restaurant. You see the Afro-Lux in the beautiful leather seats that we have. The back of the seat almost reminds you of the Nguni cow, very synonymous to where I come from, which is the Eastern Cape.
Chef has balanced the influence of her childhood in Umdantsane with pared-down 5-star style.
Some of my favorite touches is the beautiful setting. I needed to make sure that we are minimalistic in order to bring the outside in. Hence, we've got long windows. And even with our curtains, we ensured that they are see-through so that even if we are covering them, they don't take away from the view. I really wanted to bring the family aspect within the restaurant, because one of the things that people often used to ask me is, Siba, can we come to your house to come and eat your food. So you'll find pictures of me with my husband, pictures of me and the kids. So I wanted the restaurant, as much as it's fine dining, to almost feel like it's an extension of my home. Ultimately, you know, I've got the whistles and the bells when it comes to the decor, but for me, the food must always remain the hero because that's what I'm known for.
Bringing Africa the food acclaim it deserves is both a privilege and blessing to Siba, who'd prepared her latest menu for a special set of guests.
On the forecourse, we've got 3 elements. One, it's a beetroot cannelloni. It's a beet that is stuffed with goat's cheese and we crust it with nuts on either side. It's got a citrus dressing which goes very well with that. We move on to a plantain chip and it is topped with a collie mousse. It's got a wagyu strip. Oh my gosh, amazing. We then move on to a chakalaka puree with mfino. Now, mfino is a staple I used to eat every day after school, and it's topped with a snoek pate. Hello, I'm in Cape Town, celebration of Eastern Cape and Cape Town. Then I top that with a crispy nori, and that's our first dish. Next is the dombolo. Now, if you go to Kenya or to Nigeria, dombolo is a dombolo, it's a dance. But it's not that kind of dombolo. It's a traditional steamed bread that I grew up eating in Zululand. They call it ujeke, but in the Eastern Cape we call it dombolo. So this bread, this bun is inspired by that, but we make it small into buns, and it's the fluffiest you'll ever taste, and I've got innovative butters that I serve it with.
Next, an Afro-Asian starter of sesame seed crusted and seared tuna with charred baby corn, edamame beans, and compressed cucumber in a sweet soya dressing.
And then, drum roll, there is the duck with that gorgeous crispy skin, served perfectly pink, as well as my wild mushroom samp risotto. That is our signature dish. Should you ever come to Siba the restaurant, that's a dish you must at least try. What makes it special is that we cook the duck in the fat that we've rendered ourselves, which is infused with garlic and thyme. It's really delicious. To cap off the experience, I have a dessert which I call nostalgia in a plate because it's all the elements that I loved growing up. We start off with a salted caramel, yummy. We top that with 2 types of ice cream. One, it's a vanilla pod ice cream topped with a chocolate and a naughty peanut butter. On top of it is a praline made of popcorns and almonds as a second layer. And then it's got a chocolate mousse as well as a chocolate ganache surrounded by beautiful berries and some beautiful edible flowers to finish it off. Having traveled the world over, I did find that there isn't a lot of representation of South African or African food in the world space. That's why for me it was necessary to ensure that I elevate my food enough that internationals can go, wow, and locals can go, can you do that? Like, yes, you can.
Those who've witnessed the journey up close include her friend Sharon Wabe, sister Zanele Mzata, and sister-in-law Samantha Ramutla.
My beautiful friends and family, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I wanted to take a break, take stock of what has been achieved, and just appreciate the moment. So thank you so much for joining me. Come, let's eat, let's enjoy.
My fondest memory of Siba is when I actually used to do a soup kitchen with her back in the days, and seeing her developing to the level where she is and becoming who she is, the brand that she has become, and still giving back to the community, that just warms my heart.
Favorite food has to be the dombolo. I mean, no matter how many times I have it, it doesn't get old. I absolutely am in awe each time I have it. My grandmother makes the best dombolo. Well, I thought she did, until I tasted Sibas, the dombolo. I just can't get over it.
To see Siba living one of her childhood dreams, it's just a miracle, I can say. It's something that is so amazing. I wish my mom was still alive to see this, because she's the one who used to tell us that we should dream big. So she has followed that, and I'm very proud of her. She's just an amazing sister.
It's just been beautiful just to get together and brought together by food,
because the food has got power to bring people together. So for us, it was about literally breaking bread. And also, obviously, at the center of it, like celebrating Siba, which is why we're all here.
I'm feeling very emotional sitting here today, having celebrated this day with my loved ones, people who pray for me, people who support me, and people, who cheer me on every step of the way, especially when times are hard. So I'm grateful to feel this feeling at this moment and grateful to have them with me. For anyone else who'd like to join us, just know that you'll feel like you're part of the family. So I can't wait to see you.
Cheers to Siba.
And that's the brief guide to how an irrepressible foodie from the Eastern Cape has come to be a culinary hero to young cooks and seasoned journalists, food editors, and chefs on every continent. Get more of the Insider Essay online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider Essay. Watch the show Monday evenings at 6. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.